Hello world, this is Wolfstar Games, and welcome back to more Robotics Notes Elite. Last time, we learned the truth about AIRI, and afterwards we finally got to have a Christmas miracle with her, and it got me very, very emotional. It's so emotional that I wound up forgetting to bring up a certain aspect of what was going on last time. So the whole thing with AIRI being part of AIRI'S, it dawned on me last time, but I didn't want to extrapolate too heavily into it. But with her being part of AIRI'S, that is clearly her world. So with the maintenance update, it's like I started wondering if she is indeed going to disappear. Because, and this is a big because I feel that with what I remember from Steins Gate 0 with a certain AI program in that, there's one instance where the program gets deleted. So with the AIRI'S update, I'm like, I'm actually kind of wondering if AIRI is indeed going to disappear or not. I mean, she's not. AIRI'S isn't being deleted; it's being updated. How is that going to affect AIRI? And I'm not entirely sure what the answer is. It's like, hence why this is a blind run of playing through this game. So, I'm curious as to see how this is going to end with her route. And hopefully, hopefully I don't get so emotional at the end of her route here. So we only have a little bit left of AIRI'S route, and then right after we'll hop into the next route, which should be the final route of the game. It's like, I'm looking forward to that, and I'm willing to bet that the final route is with Akiho. So, I'm looking forward to it. An imposing alarm rings throughout the facility. Before I advance here, though, according to the guide, I need to check Tweepo here for a surprise. I'm not the assistant. Oh my god! Kurisu? If you are interested in thin books, I have a friend in Tokyo who can get them for you. A regular attendee at Komima each year. I only know them online, but I heard they are friends with Dash. Username, Kuri Gohan and Kamehameha. I don't know why I stumbled over that. That's Kurisu's username from Steins Gate. Huh. Well, that is a bit of a surprise, isn't it? It's like first Daru and now Kurisu. That's cool. I haven't missed anything right here, have I? I have. Oh, here we go. Dash. I wanted to host a house party with some family. It's been a dream for so long. You're a winner if you host a house party. Duh. kind of forgotten my voice for Daru. It's like, even when I'm not Let's Playing, I'll like read out the dialogue. And when I play through Linear Bound and Pentagram, it's like, with the different perspectives in that game, I had a voice for each of them, and I can't really remember my voice for Daru. Like you feel like the backbone of the family. Like you come to my castle, and I'll treat you well. I'm like a normie, right? I feel like my voice for here is kind of sounding like Big the Cat from Sonic. Okay, Akio, will do. Kaito's at a loss. Oh. I was wondering who I was gonna pan over to. Hi, Frau. Hi, Juna. Maximum cringe. It's really embarrassing when Akio gets like this with adults present. It's like she can't help it. She's like an elementary school boy or something. So, is that such a bad thing? I feel like it's not. I don't want to get lumped in with her, so I stay quiet. Everyone else appears to feel similarly. Akio finds herself totally alone, causing her to deflate. Oh, like, sad Akio. It goes without saying that the alarm has zero to do with an enemy attack. It just means the ceiling crane is moving. Okay, that's why it's going off. Right now, said crane is sliding back and forth, moving the motor hanging from it to the top of Model 2. Without me even realizing it, the bottom half of Model 2 is basically finished. We're attaching the waste parts now. These parts have two motors installed into them, making up the legs' joints. By installing these, the two legs will finally be connected. Yeah, really. I mean, last time we had to use a crane, we had to have a couple of like engineers operate it. So this is a huge step up. Akio looks up at the crane and mutters to herself. JAXA technicians are operating the crane. Oh, okay. I was kind of wondering who was operating it. There's my question. I mean, answer. I recall Akio saying they said it'd be too dangerous to let students operate it. Of course. So they wouldn't let her touch it. Which I'm sure made that made Akio sad. We should just be grateful that JAXA is lending us Nisan and these technicians for our little robot project. I mean, they got us this far. It's like they should be at least somewhat grateful, especially Akio, since she's the one all going forward with getting Gun Build 2 built. And we needed the help drastically, so especially with what little time we have left.
それにしても組み立てるの早すぎじゃない？
About 2 weeks ago, I'd heard that the new motor had been completed. At that point, Model 2 only existed up to its knees.
パーツ自体はもうほぼ全て完成してたから。
Well, that's good. For the last 2 months, Akio and Subaru have been going to the clinic day after day to make parts.
いや、1号機に比べてって話。あっちは組み立てに7年かかったんだよ。
I mean, that may be the case, but, you know, that was a much slower process. It's like with Gun Build 2, we're planning on putting it into the Expo, so we need to speed the construction of it up, because, you know, February is like almost right around the corner.
ガンツクワンとは条件が全然違うよ。お金もなかったし、設備もなかった。
Right, yeah. We didn't have Jax's help. So, actually, come to think of it, when Misane was working on it, what kind of help did she have?
歴代の先輩たちがコツコツ作ってきたけど、うちの代になってからはほとんど一人だけで組み立ててたし。
You know, without Kaito's help, yes. Yeah, I get it. I didn't help at all. At least he realizes that and acknowledges it. At least to himself.
でもガンツク2はいろんな人に手伝ってもらってる。資金もある。優秀な仲間もいる。
Yeah.
特にスバルがロードマップを作ってくれたから作業が止まることなく進められたんだと思う。
Which is really helpful. It's like it's really helpful to have a blueprint.
うちだったら何を作って何を作ってないかきっと途中でわからなくなっちゃってたもん。
Probably.
今はね、下準備はほぼ終わってて、実質新型モーターの完成待ちだったんだ。
How long will it take for those motors to be completed?
新型モーターっておじいちゃんが作ってるもの。
Yes.
Say.
Kaito? What's with the he said it sounded like shi instead of a hiya. It's like, oh, what are you doing, Kaito? Did he just cover Judah's mouth? I jammed 3 fink. What is it with Kaito and thrusting his fingers into people's mouths? Seriously. It's like, you don't do that. It's like, that's kind of unsanitary. It's like just thrusting 3 fingers into someone's mouth, let alone your own. Maintaining that position, I look for Naisan. I'm trying to avoid her prying into this monoball business. Considering that she's working for JAXA, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. It's like, we don't want her or anyone else at JAXA, especially Akio's father, to catch wind about the monopoles. Luckily, Naisan is a little ways off, looking up at the ceiling crane.
うかつだよ、純ちゃん。
It's like, get your dirty fingers out of my mouth! Juna taps my arm while staring at me with tearful eyes. She's clearly given up. Oh. It's like, look what you did, Kaito. You made her cry. Yes, that was terrible of him to do. And this is where Frau comes in, interjects, right?
大丈夫。俺もこれまでアキちゃんにしかしたことないから。ちなみに俺がもし口を滑らせそうになったら、問答無用で聖剣好きをぶちかましていい。
I don't think Juna could ever raise a fist to Kaito, let alone any of them, really. Yeah, it's like just as I thought. It's like she could never do that, regardless of what Kaito just did. The only ones who know about the monopoles are us, Doc, and some of the oldies from the local workshops. Yeah, and let's keep it that way. We decided that nobody else needed to know, especially not the JAXA folks. Seriously.
まあそんなこんなでモノポールモーターじゃなかった新型モーターも完成し始めたわけで
I thought for sure Frau would interject there, but she didn't. What is this miserable feeling in the pit of my stomach? So what's wrong? She's completely hopeless. Juna's sacrifice was totally for nothing. I wouldn't say that. Fortunately for us, Naisan didn't hear her, so we narrowly avoided death. That's a little, dramatic. Melodramatic, I should say. Akio flashes us an embarrassed smile, then continues.
さすがに24機全部が完成ってわけじゃないけど、もう8機まではできたの。
Only 8 out of 24. We have a lot more to get made. Do we have enough time to make all of them? I hope so.
それをこれまで仮で組み込んであった側だけの偽物モーターと換装したってのが昨日までの作業。
I guess all the motors in Model 2 had been fakes.
春中さんの練習も兼ねてね。
Harunaka-san? Is that one of the other, shop owners? I think it is. Akio looks up at the ceiling crane. Oh, or was it a JAXA technician? Subaru and a veteran JAXA technician in uniform are operating the crane from above. Well, Subaru is just observing. And let me guess, Subaru convinced Akiho to just be down on the ground and to let him and the technician handle things from up above. Harunaka-san is the JAXA technician in charge of the crane. He was apparently involved with the assembly of every H2 rocket. He's quiet, but immensely skilled. as far as us Robot Club peeps are concerned, there's no one as reliable as he is. Plus, unlike Doc, he doesn't shout all the time. Right, because he's quiet all the time instead. There's been no assembly work at Jackson for the last few years, so he helped with building the legs to stay fresh.
で、これから組み立てるのが腰の部分。これで両足が接続されて下半身完成。ちゃんと歩けるようになるよ。
Okay.
ソフト面はフラウボーのシステム待ちだけど。
It's like, how's that going, Frau?
などと意味不明な供述をしており。
How is it confusing, Frau?
ちゃんとやってね。フラウボーにかかってるんだからね。
などと意味不明な供述をしており。
It's like, what's wrong, Frau?
大丈夫かな。
Has Frau been staying up real late working on it? Subaru is waving both arms and shouting from above the ceiling crane. It's like, yes, Subaru!
あいつ今日はテンション高くない？
I mean, I'm sure he's finding all this fascinating up there.
ハゲド、デュー。
Big mood.
下ろしますんで、固定よろしくお願いします。
わかった。ちょっと行ってくるから、あとよろしくね。
All right. Akio runs off toward Model 2, puts on a safety helmet, then climbs the scaffolding next to the robot's leg. It's not just Akio. Several of the technicians gather up and wait for the part to be lowered via the crane. Looks like they're going to be connecting it to the motors in the thigh joints, which leaves me, Juna, and Frau off to the side. We're sitting at a table in the corner of the dreary facility. There's a whole shortcake here. Ooh, shortcake. Yum. And also all kinds of dishes that Juna put together. Of course, Juna is the one who made all the food. Fried chicken, wieners, the works. Wait, she went all out, didn't she? Nai-san brought juice and champagne as well. Today's the 27th of December, 2 days after Christmas. On Akio's orders, we'll be holding our little Christmas party today. Alright. I mean, you don't necessarily have to have a Christmas party after on Christmas, right? Could be a little before or a little after. Why not? Of course, Nai-san and the other JAXA technicians who always help us were invited to join us. Oh. Today's the last business day of the year for the TNSC, so the timing is perfect. Oh, there you go. The party is set to start as soon as the waist part is attached. It would have been nice if Airi could have made it. So she was deleted, or deleted, disappeared, however you want to put it. On Christmas Eve, the AI girl vanished alongside the white snow. Okay. That's what I was afraid of. That even though that it was that IRUO was updated and not deleted, that would affect ID negatively to the point that she would be deleted. That makes me sad. So, okay, that just makes me wonder then if AI ID is gone with the opening scene at the beginning of the game, we see ID through the like, what is that, like through the viewfinder of, what is it, of Kaito's like phone droid, or is it through the robot itself that he's in? So I can only assume that ID at the beginning of the game is the real ID. IRUO entered maintenance for an entire day, but is now back online and running without issue. That's a long maintenance, an entire day? Usually a maintenance is only like for a few hours. As for Yuki Fune Airi, she ended up being transferred to a hospital in Tokyo by the police. Okay. They're going to safely thaw her out. Okay, so it's not only like cold sleep, it's like also she's also cryogenically frozen. It made the news, but it's a gossip level story. It'll likely be buried by other news in a week, then forgotten. You'd think that would be a much bigger story, though, than just a gossip level story. I mean, young girl is found frozen in a pod. I mean, I feel like that would be a bigger story than than Kaito is making it out to be here.
Yashio senpai, 君島レポートその7は見つかったん?
I'm guessing not yet. Akiho and the others are still working, but Frau is already picking away and snacking on chicken as she asks. We'll most likely find Report 7 in the final route.
いや、手がかりが全くない状態だからね。
I mean, we gotta narrow it down somehow.
どこから探そうかって途方に暮れてるところだよ。
It's like give a dog a bone. It's like give us something. It's like, where can we start looking? And not to mention to get the ball rolling of even narrowing it down to where it could be.
私もできるだけ探すの手伝う。
Well, thank you, Frau. At least Frau, I know, will help. Even if she doesn't have as much of a drive as Kaito does.
ただし、家の中からだがな、安楽椅子探偵的な意味で。
Of course. I mean, do what you can, Frau. That's all I ask.
だったらどうせ役に立たないからいいよ。それより、さっさとロボ2号機のためにプログラム作ってやんなよ。
I mean, if she wants to help, and if that's her way of helping, then Kaito should let her.
だったらやはりアイリタンに手伝ってもらうしか方法なくね。
In theory, right now anyway, I mean, AI ID is gone. How is she supposed to help when she's gone?
アイリちゃんは消えたから無駄だよ。
医療が復旧した後、試しに呼んでみたりしたの。
What are you saying, Frau? Is she saying that ID, AI ID could still be in there?
いや、でもさ、目の前ではっきり消えたわけだし。
Wait. Is the AI so advanced that when an IRUO update needs to happen that it'll, like, work around the AI? And that the AI will adapt to it? Huh. Now I'm thinking maybe she is still gonna be around.
それまでは俺の周囲をうろちょろしてたのにその姿もないわけだし。さすがにいないでしょ。
Doesn't hurt to check though, Kaito. But until Frau brought it up just now, I hadn't even considered any of that. Which I'm not surprised. I didn't think to call out for ID. But what if? A sense of hope and expectation begins to build within me. But if I expect too much, it'll make the disappointment that much more painful. ID being around would definitely make getting report number 7 easier. Yes, it would. Yep. Sure hope she's still around for that. Then check. Well, it would probably be best for him to check when he's not at JAXA, though. And so... Oh, no, he's gonna do it here. I hesitantly tried calling out to her. The name. Her name. The name of a program that had already vanished from this world. The name of that AI who was altogether too human. I mean, there's a reason behind that. The name of an ordinary young lady who had always longed for it to snow on Christmas Eve. On her birthday. A girl with no family name. That's not true. I mumble to myself.
ID?
And slowly look around. Once more.
ID?
In stark contrast with the people noisily working on assembling Model 2. The three of us perk up our ears in total silence. But as expected, there's no reply.
ほら見なよ。やっぱり消えたんだよ。
Try outside. You should try outside and not inside a building.
バグとして潰されちゃったのさ。最初にそうなるって予想したのはコナちゃんじゃないか。
でも昨日私アイリタンを見かけたわけだが。
You saw her. When?
え？それ本当？
Frau starts nodding.
でもだったらどうして今呼んでも出てこないんだ？
アイリは
This music again. That movement from Frau always makes me laugh. There's a voice. Even though Frau, Juna, and myself are the only ones here. Even though none of us has said anything.
いないからです。
Airi is no longer here. Is it Geji-ne then? The voice comes from my phone droid. Juna's face. A voice that I'm extremely familiar with. She's here. She didn't disappear. Okay, so it is Airi. So Airi / Geji-ne are the same person. They're not separate. They're not separate AIs then, right? I hurry outside and point my phone droid toward the voice. There! As if she could vanish at any time. Oh! No, it is Geji-ne! She stands with a blank expression on her face. Hi, Geji-ne. So Geji-ne and AI Airi are separate then. She's... Okay. I thought she was gone forever. But here she is. A blue icon shining on her forehead. That's not blue, that's green. It's like that has to be a mistranslation.
今ここにいるのはアイリではなく
Currently not present. It's like, I'm Geji-ne.
ゲジネなの？
はい。
Yeah.
私にご用件がある場合は今後ボディのいずれかの箇所へのタッチ、額へのタップ、並びに額へのキスは無用です。
Oh, yeah, Geji-ne is purely an AI, right? More of an AI than Airi is, right? So it's like she's different from Airi. It's like she shows no emotion. So it's like forehead kisses would not work on her. All the same, I would want to kiss her on the forehead.
お分かりいただけましたか、ヤシオさん。
I understand.
はいはい。もしかして覚えてるわけ？
It's like, did she see all that? Witness all of it?
なぜ今、ゲジネーが額へのキスなどという言葉を口走ったのかは不明です。
Well, I guess since she said that, maybe AI Airi could come back. I mean, Geji-ne is like half of who Airi is. So maybe we can find out a way to bring AI Airi back through Geji-ne? Maybe a possibility?
バグである可能性があるため調査中。
A possible bug. Okay, so now that the AIRI'S update is done with, now Geji-ne has a bug? Possibly? She doesn't seem to be teasing me. Yeah, Geji-ne is not the teasing type.
ま、別になんだっていいさ。バグだろうとなんだろうとね。
It's possible that her memories were reset. Right. I didn't consider that. Yeah, everything that AI Airi knew is gone, right? So all of her memories are gone. But it seems that her memories linger a little bit in Geji-ne. Maybe we can extrapolate those memories together and from there bring back AI Airi? I don't know. It's like I'm trying to think back on Steins Gate Zero and think of if that is actually possible. It's been such a long time since I last played Steins Gate Zero to really remember if that is possible. It's possible that her memories weren't reset. Wait, what? Oh, okay. First it's possible that her memories were reset. Now he's saying it's possible that her memories weren't reset. Okay. It's possible that Airi is just asleep and could wake up one day. Just like the real Airi, right? But I don't care about the details. It doesn't matter if she's Geji-ne or Airi on the inside. Airi has come to the Christmas party. That's all I need. I'm content enough with that.
遅くなったけど、メリークリスマス、ゲジネ。それと、アイリちゃん。
はい。メリークリスマス、ヤシオさん。
It's not exactly Airi, but all the same, this is starting to get to me. Well, I did get a little emotional. Oh. Those were like feathers, it looked like. Is there a meaning behind that? Alright. Just one more ending to go. One more route. Phase 8 cleared. Phase 9 start has been added. Okay. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Oh. There we go. Ah! Interesting. Shing! Okay. Shing! Like taking out a sword. Like Gunvarel's sword, right? Alright, so now that the 4 circles have been filled in, a 5th one has been added. Oh! Phase 9 start has been added to the menu. So we just hop into it from here. I don't have to go back to Phase 4 to get to Phase 9? Okay. Well, I mean, we're not too terribly far into this recording session, but you know, what the heck? We'll get a little bit of a start on Phase 9. At least a little bit. Get our feet wet in it. But before we do, though, go to oh no. Extra. Okay, got over 50% of the CGs. Just 17 more tips. CG library real quick here. Oh, right here. Heidi doesn't have a lot of CGs, does she? I'm surprised at how many ones are still locked. Huh, okay. There must be a lot of CGs in the last chapter here. Either that or I somehow missed CGs. Which shouldn't be a thing, if that is possible. Heidi ending. Alright. Phase 9. Start! Phase 9. Exosphere Breaker. Akio Senomiya's home. Okay. So am I from her perspective then? It's like the trophy name was a little in the way, so I didn't see if it said that I had switched to Heidi, but I assume that we have. Which one do you prefer? The white one or the red one? I mean, the red one looks cool and all, but the white one, even though it looks more blue than white, I like the color scheme more. It has the white one has more diversity in its color. I choose the red one. Okay. It was the first plastic model that my dad ever bought for me. Is this a flashback? That's the red one. The red Zaku's master grade model. Of course, Misa chose the original Gundam. I was only 5 or 6 back then. It is a flashback. Dad was going to buy plastic robot model kits for Misa and me. But back then, I didn't know anything about the different robots there were. When Dad asked me if I wanted the white one or the red one, I said the red one on a whim. And so Misa ended up with the white one, cheerfully yelling, "Nicely done, Aki!" I mean, the white one is the hero's mech, and it's more popular and cool looking. But I didn't find that out until later. Okay. To me, they were both cool. I was just grateful that Dad bought them for us at all. It's almost certainly Dad's fault that I ended up being the kindergartner that I was. Dad built the plastic models for us. He probably figured Mom would complain if he bought them for himself. So he used his kids as an excuse. It's like his hobbies kind of like bleeded over and kind of got inherited by his kids. He looked thrilled as he put together Misa's Gundam and my Zaku. A few months later, and us sisters had become hooked on playing with plastic models. I know, super girly, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what a girl or a boy plays with. What matters is that they're having fun with what they're playing with. Most of the time, our little play sessions ended the exact same way since Misa would enforce her own made-up rules. Of course.
ブーンプシュー赤いのは速いんだぞ私が一番ガンバムをうまく使えるんだ一番うまく使えるんだビーム
I'm pretty certain that young Akiho is also voiced by the same voice actor, or seiyuu, I should say in Japanese, the same seiyuu as older Akiho.
ブッブー秋のはビーム使えないっていつも言ってるでしょ
Why not? It's like that's what I hear in my head of Akiho telling her sister.
ビームはガンバムだけなのズッキューンはい命中
Really? Only Gundam can use a beam?
ずるい
Oh.
ずるくないそっちだって3倍早く動けるんだからたまにはうちも勝ちたいよダメいいアキ正義は必ず勝たなきゃいけないのそれが運命なの覚えておきなさい
I feel like this is foreshadowing something.
正義は必ず勝つかっこいいわかったよお姉ちゃんうち忘れない絶対忘れない
The way Misa proudly stood before me, white Gundam in hand, was so blindingly cool. This is how I learned about the rules of victory and the tragic beauty that was his fall. Huh. I'd argue that those play sessions ultimately defined who I am today. Yeah. Especially with everything that she likes to yell out when she gets excited. Definitely an influential part of her life. It's where me, Misa, and the Robot Club began. So, Misa.
待っててね。あと少しで追いつけるから。
I swiftly open the curtains. The gentle sunlight of early spring illuminates my room. I look upon the many plastic models and figures that decorate my room. The Zaku and Gundam that Dad bought for us that day are still safely stored here. Those small plastic models are where our journey began. And now our dreams have brought us to an 8-meter tall giant robot. Time to get going. Today is Gunbuild 2's first test run. Oh. First test run. Okay. What's today then? Is it the next year? It is. January 19th. All right. So some time has passed. So I'd say that got our feet wet a little bit. I know it isn't much, but I feel like that's just enough to be a little intriguing with where this could go. I mean, I feel like that this flashback is foreshadowing at least a couple of things. I don't want to say anything yet, though, of what that might be. So we'll see how things go here, and maybe if I manage to remember to bring it up when the time is right. So we'll stop it here for now. I hope you all enjoyed watching, and thank you all for watching as well. And if you enjoyed the video and want to see more, like, favorite, and claw that subscribe button to become part of the pack. And as always, everyone, I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, wherever you may be.